Hello and welcome to Femme de Chem Chats. I'm your host, Kit, with your weekly musings on life, the universe, but mostly on disability. This week is part 2 of Braille access, and I will be looking at cost as a barrier to access. Braille technology is expensive. Braillers, embossers, displays, these all cost a lot of money. And this is leaving a gap in who has access to basic Braille literacy skills. Last episode, I mentioned that most people who use Braille use digital Braille, which is a Braille file or a .brf extension. Digital Braille is awesome because it allows you to have a lot of things to read and keep it in a very small space. There's two problems though. Braille displays cost $1,500 and up, and also the more cells you have in a display, the more expensive it is. Displays use piezoelectric technology in order to work. What this means is that underneath each of the cells, under the pins, is a tiny crystal. And when electricity goes through the crystal expands and pushes the pin up. So this makes larger displays cost more than smaller displays. So a small 18-cell display will be cheaper than the 40-cell that I have here. But the longer the display, the better access to information. Imagine trying to edit a resume or a report, only being able to see 50 characters at a time. That's what using an 18-cell display is like. The 40-cell gives you twice the amount of information at your fingertips. 80 cells, even more. Basically, longer display equals better access to information. But an 80-cell display is about $4,000. So you're not really going to be getting one of these things unless you really need it. And those people are going to be computer programmers or anyone that works with data information. Another technology cost barrier is actually an embosser or a Braille printer. Today's embossers run roughly $3,500. And a student might also need a Perkins Brailler, which run about $700. So a school hoping to provide Braille access to a student is looking to shell out about $6,000 for Braille equipment, when instead they can buy a $700 screen reader, a $369 Victor Stream, and a $10 pair of headphones, and call it a day. But access isn't about what's easiest for the school district or state rehabilitation or anyone else besides the person using the technology. The truth is, we're not offering Braille in classrooms because school districts don't want to pay the bill, which is leaving an entire generation of blind children without access to a good Braille education, and it is only feeding the myth that Braille is obsolete. It's not. Braille literacy for blind individuals is what ASL is for language communication for people who are deaf. It's how we naturally relate to printed materials, and it leads the way to better reading and writing abilities. Luckily, most of the technology that I've talked about today will last a very long time. My display and embosser are 10 years old, and the only reason I need a new display is because of Bluetooth connectivity, not because the hardware is broken. So districts can easily purchase this equipment, and it will last almost as long as the child's lifetime in the school district. Don't limit yours or your child's access to Braille. Demand from state services that they provide these devices for you for work and for school. Tell your child's school district that they need to provide your child with these devices. Physical Braille provides a chance for kids to learn good Braille technique, but Braille displays open up literacy in ways that we can't with only physical Braille. We have access to any ebook available on iBooks or Kindle, and can use websites like Bookshare in order to get books for both school and enjoyment. Braille is the key to literacy, and it's not okay that only 8% of blind children will be given access to Braille literacy skills. That was this week's episode of Femme de Chem Chats. Please remember to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, and you can also find me on Facebook. Do you want access to these videos in advance? go to patreon.com/kitanglard and become a patron. Links are below in the description. And I will see you next week. Femme de Chem is made possible by our generous contribution by our patrons from patreon.com/kitanglard.